The slumber party, more like the end of the school year's dance party. Oh my god, this episode from SpongeBob SquarePants suck. Let me give you the reasons why I hate this episode. In my opinion, the episode opens when Pearl is getting ready for her slumber party, but Mr. Krabs meddling in the party preparations is getting out of control. Eventually, Pearl kicks him out of the house, so Mr. Krabs decides to stay at SpongeBob's house. There, SpongeBob puts on a movie that shows girls having a slumber party and inviting their gangster boyfriends, who begin vandalizing the house. Mr. Krabs is horrified by this, and as a result, he destroys SpongeBob's television with a bat. He then explains to SpongeBob about his concern that this will happen to his house when he demonstrated it around SpongeBob's house and sends SpongeBob to spy on Pearl and her friends, despite telling her earlier no boys are allowed at the party, who had an idea with some disguise. Meanwhile, a teenage female sponge named Girly Teen Girl from Farawayville who looks like SpongeBob arrives at Mr. Krabs and Pearl's house, asking to get in for the party. However, Pearl thinks she is SpongeBob, and she and her friends attack the girl, who runs home crying. At the time, Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob arrives and pretend to be pizza deliverers while SpongeBob calls Girly Teen Girl ugly. Unfortunately, SpongeBob is caught during the scuffle after his mustache flew away and is accidentally left behind as Mr. Krabs flees where gets captured in process. As a result, SpongeBob had been turned into a pizza by the girls and sent back to Mr. Krabs, telling him that he failed the plan while Mr. Krabs eats some slice of it. SpongeBob later sneaks back in as a piano repairman, but Pearl and her friends already know his tricks and drop a piano on him. SpongeBob leaves and tries to tell Mr. Krabs to not spy on her again since they seem trustworthy, but Mr. Krabs demands that if he does not go to Pearl's party, then he is fired. Upset, SpongeBob goes back to Mr. Krabs' house and begs Pearl to stay at her party. Pearl is convinced, but he falls into Krabs' root beer cellar while trying to prove in 10 seconds that he is fun enough for the party. SpongeBob absorbs all of Mr. Krabs' root beer to prove that he can be fun, while in hindsight ruining Mr. Krabs' house and putting Pearl and her friends in peril. Mr. Krabs arrives at his destroyed house, and he blames Pearl for its destruction and trusting her. Pearl is enraged at Mr. Krabs for blaming her and sending SpongeBob to spy on her and her friends, who are traumatized by this incident, and claims that Mr. Krabs is the only one at fault for ruining the party and it's going to cost him some money. As punishment for ruining her slumber party, Pearl makes her father give up all his savings and uses it to host a private and really expensive beach party at Goo Lagoon, where Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob are the only ones not allowed entry. The episode ends with SpongeBob offering a cup of root beer to Mr. Krabs to cheer him up, which does not help at all. And the episode ends. And that's how the episode goes, and that's why I hate this episode. I don't know who likes or hates this episode, so I'm just gonna leave it be. So screw the slumber party, and screw sleepy time. Snowball effect is 1 trillion times better than the slumber party. End of